An upcoming climate deal is facing challenges as poorer and wealthier countries try to come to an agreement over spending. Poorer countries say they want $750 billion annually to shift away from fossil fuels to protect against global warming. Developed nations are skeptical to pay the large sum without help from countries like China. Meanwhile, thousands of global leaders are set to attend a two-week climate change conference in Glasgow. For more on this, I want to bring in CBS News climate reporter Cara Korte. Hi, Cara. So let's back up a little bit. Can you tell us about the global relationship between poorer and wealthier countries when it comes to climate change?
Well, Tanya, it's a pretty simple, albeit sad equation, and that is the countries that have contributed to the least to the climate crisis across the globe are the ones most at risk of climate danger. Now, when you think about that, what exactly does that mean? Well, we know here in the United States, we are historically the world's leading emitter of fossil fuels. Today, that is China. They have taken that reign from us, but together the United States and China are responsible for 45% of the entire world's carbon emissions. And when you add just a few more countries to that, the EU, Russia, Japan, and India, that's 70% of the world's carbon emissions right there. So that's just a few countries responsible for the vast majority of carbon emissions. And of course, the United States, while we're historically the world's leading emitter, today we are still the world's leading producer of fossil fuels. So while we experience climate tragedy and climate disasters here, it is not on the same scale that smaller nations, oftentimes poorer nations and island nations experience when they are hit with climate disasters.
Right. And so these developing nations now want that $750 billion annually, correct? Because back in 2015 at the Paris Accord, countries like the U.S. did commit $100 billion a year for poorer countries through 2025. They have fallen short of that goal. So should wealthy countries be on the hook for this money?
Yeah, those figures that you just spoke about, Tanya, I think really speak to the critical inflection point that scientists say we are in today when it comes to the climate crisis. That 10 years ago, a handful of wealthy countries, including the United States, pledged to commit $100 billion annually by 2020 to poorer nations to give them climate financing so that they could better adapt and be better prepared for climate disasters. We've fallen short of that goal. And now, today, these smaller nations have come together and they're now asking for more than $700 billion in climate finance. That's how critical their needs are. So we've just bridged we've come so far in just a short amount of time, shows how much this crisis is worsening. Now, when you think about the countries, we just spoke about how the United States and other industrialized nations are responsible for all of these fossil fuels that are creating the climate crisis. Officials I speak to basically say that, yes, it is up to these larger nations to clean up the mess that they made. Now, the Biden administration has pledged to double their international climate financing to more than $11 billion. But that would need congressional approval. And I think it's important to think about what a climate disaster means in a smaller, poorer country versus somewhere like the United States, Tanya. Now, remember back to this summer, Hurricane Ida devastated the east coast of the United States. It caused more than $50 billion of damages and killed more than 90 people. And that's obviously a tragedy and a disaster. But the United States has the capability and the economy to rebound from that, and communities have the ability to rebound from that. When you look at a smaller nation, take the Caribbean, for example. Hurricane Maria in 2017 on the nation of Dominica alone caused enough damages, it equaled more than 225% of that nation's GDP. In Barbuda, that same storm, Hurricane Maria in 2017, displaced 100% of its population. So not a single home in that country was left habitable after this climate disaster. So that just kind of goes to show the impact that climate disasters can leave on these smaller nations. They last a very, very long time. And officials in these countries truly believe and know that fixing this climate crisis is a matter of life and death.
And Cara, 20,000 heads of state and diplomats will attend the Climate Change Summit in Glasgow. We know this is an important meeting globally. Will conversations around funding developing countries happen at this conference? What are the goals of the summit?
Yeah, they're definitely going to happen there. That's one of the benefits of having so many people in the same place at the same time. And lots of people from big nations and small nations are hoping that large progress, large steps are made. When you think about the past, the Paris Agreement was signed in 2015 at this same conference. And back then, it was the small island nations that were really pushing for the most aggressive goals. There was a term that they used, which was 1.5 to stay alive. And what that is referring to is the need to keep global temperatures below 1.5 degrees Celsius as compared to pre-industrial levels. Now, the way that the Paris Agreement was signed was that countries would work towards 1.5, but the first step was to stay below 2 degrees. And now science has said, scientists now know more than ever, that keeping on that 2 degrees path would actually lead to catastrophe, that we need to stay below 1.5. So just in those 6 years since Paris, the goalposts have changed. And if we stay on current trajectories, the current investments, current climate financing, scientists believe that global temperatures will raise to 2.7 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial levels. And we need to be well below 1.5, they're saying today. So this is how critical summits like the COP26 that's coming up in Glasgow are for all different kinds of nations to come to the same table and agree on the process moving forward.
Cara Korte, thank you so much for joining us. The clock is certainly ticking.
Thank you.